Okay, so much of getting a good end result is starting with a strong image. So what I've done is I have taken several images that I want to work with on this project that I think would be good images to be black and white with limited color. Again, they're ones where I want to create more of a focal point. So there are some of them that have some good color info that I want to try to pull out a little bit more. So I'm going to focus in on this one right here. I'm going to come to File, Open, and I have my image. Okay. So now to begin, the first thing that I want to do, and again, I'm not going to work with the adjustments window. I'm not going to work with this adjustments here. Instead, I'm going to duplicate layers. So I want to see my layers window. Again, if you don't see your layers window, you might want to just come on over and go to Window and open up the layers. So I'm going to duplicate my layer. I'm going to come to Layer, Duplicate Layer, OK. And I'm going to keep this one as the bottom locked, and that will be that. Now, the first thing that I want to always do is come on in. I'm going to come to Image, Adjustments. I'm going to come to Levels. Okay. And I want to just work with the distribution of value across the channels and do a little preview. And I can see just by doing that, I have added a lot more information on the structures that are in this image. I'm going to hit OK. Excellent. Now I'm going to leave it like that, and I can come back and do the hue saturation in a little bit. Okay, the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to duplicate this layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on in and name it. I'm going to say Original. And it's adjusted, but it's different than background. And it has the color info. So what I could do, actually, I think would be better, I'm going to name it Color. This is where all my color info is. Now I'm going to strip the color. But the first thing that I need to do is I need to, one more time, I need to duplicate this layer. So I'm going to come on up, I'm going to come to Layer, Duplicate Layer, hit OK, and there I have it. Now this one's going to be the black and white. So I'm going to actually name it Black and White. Now, a piece about the layers, whatever is on top is what we see. This is going to make sense in a second or two, in a couple seconds, in about 20 seconds. So I'm going to come on up to Image, I'm going to come to Adjustments, and I'm going to actually come to Black and White. Come on in here, I've set the black and white. Now, I can work, I know that I believe there's a lot of yellows. Now, it's interesting, the yellows are really on the leaf. Aren't really so many greens. There's really a lot of browns in this water, maybe even some reds. And you can see again, the reds are really on the leaf, so it doesn't really matter so much. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to leave it like this. Now, let's take a look. What do I mean by that? That whatever's on top is what you see. So this one's up on top. I don't see any of the color info, but take a look. When I turn off that eyeball, I see all of that color info now. Okay? All right, so I want to keep that on. Now, what I can do too is I might want to come on in and dodge and burn. I could say that around it are an awful lot of midtones, and maybe I want to lighten some of the midtones. So I'm going to come on in, I'm going to grab my dodge tool, okay? And again, I want to set it at midtones. This is going to lighten. I'm going to keep my exposure at about 29–30%. Now I have my brush size set. I definitely want to make sure the hardness is at 0. And I'm going to make it larger so I can really just come over with the foul swoop. So take a look. So we can come on in, and I can see I'm starting to kind of lighten some of these midtones. Just in maybe some of these areas, just a little bit. So I just lightened it just a little bit. And again, if you don't like what you're doing, you can always open up your history window and you can go back. So I can see this will just save some of them. Now, the good thing too is that we can come back in and work with this once we extract some of the color information. In the next video, I'll show you how to add in and keep the color info.